Hi, this is Bernard Harris, and welcome to Btallk. Today we have with us a special guest, BC Nokia, and a friend of mine, head coach Greg Gibson. Welcome, Greg. Good to see you, man.
Hey Bernard, great to be here. It's great to catch up with you.
And we were just talking. You ran into one of my ex-teammates, Bob McAdoo. How did
I
that
sure
happen?
did. Oh, that was fun. So in Vegas, I've been going out to Las Vegas for summer league and watching players for about the last 16 years, I guess, and just sitting in the stands like I do, just watching some European players. His nephew was playing, and actually his nephew has an Italian passport. And a friend of mine turned and said, "Do you know this gentleman from North Carolina?" Knowing that my family and I spend a lot of time in North Carolina, he turned around and I recognized the face. Of course, when he stood up, I quickly realized that it was one of your former teammates and friends, Bob McAdoo. And we had a nice conversation, and of course, you were a big part of that conversation. And what a just a top shelf gentleman. I really enjoyed talking to Bob, and his stories of playing in Italy and NBA and everything. It was just a real pleasure,
Yeah,
real treat.
he's a good guy, man. And whenever we talk, we can go like 20 years and not talk. And as soon
Yes,
as we talk, it's like I just saw him yesterday. We're
that's what
laughing and
friendship's all
joking,
about.
and yep, there you go.
I believe
Let's
it.
get into your background a little bit, Greg.
Yeah.
Where'd you grow up?
Well, 2 hours north of you. It's nice to be on a chat where two fellow Virginians can talk.
There,
So
there you go.
yeah,
Yeah.
I grew up in the northern Shenandoah Valley,
Okay.
Woodstock, Virginia, small town up near James Madison University, right up
Okay.
Interstate 81, and I guess I was destined to live internationally because a lot of people don't even know I wasn't even born in the U.S. I was born in Panama when my dad played college basketball and graduated, and my dad enlisted in the United States Air Force and
Wow.
was stationed
Okay.
in Panama. So I was actually born in Panama before moving to the States as a young
Okay.
fella.
Yeah, I
But
had no idea.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So grew up in a small town, Woodstock, less than 5,000 people in my town, and just very blessed to have had the people from that grassroots level be a part of my life, from basketball, baseball, all sports. We've had a lot of successful individuals before me, after me, that just make that town really, really special. My high school basketball coach, Jerry Walters, one of the winningest high school coaches in the state of Virginia, just a legend.
Okay.
And then the conference that we played in. I mean, you'll know a lot of these guys like Ralph Sampson from Harrisonburg, Virginia, before
Oh yeah.
I
Oh
played
yeah.
high school. Steph Curry's dad, a guy named Dell Curry, who was a pretty good NBA player, was at Fort
Yep.
Defiance High School, actually beat my high school in the sixth grade for the state championship.
Okay.
So
Okay.
Dell Curry, and then on up in 1985, I graduated in high school in 87, but in 85, we had two McDonald's All-Americans that played in the McDonald's All-American game from the Shenandoah Valley. Robert E. Lee had Kevin Madden, who went to North Carolina, and my high school, Central High School in Woodstock, had a guy named Walker Lambiot, who was uh, the MVP of the McDonald's All-Star game in 1985 and went to NC State University before transferring to Northwestern.
Really?
So Walker's brother was a phenomenal athlete. Older brother was on that state championship team that lost to Dell Curry. Was a wonderful basketball player at University of Virginia for a couple seasons. Played with Ralph before transferring to William and Mary, where he played basketball and football. He was the quarterback and ended up getting drafted by the Philadelphia Eagles. So
Wow.
for a small town, we've had,
Yeah.
a little bit
Yeah.
of everything. And that's why I'm so lucky to have those guys before me that just paved the way for being competitive. Just the people in the community just set everything up for kids to play sports and have fun. And I think it really
Okay.
showed with all the success that we had. So just very
How
lucky.
old how old were you when you started playing basketball?
I guess my mom takes credit because my dad would go off to work. Mom would, I guess, 6, 7, 8 years old. I remember playing in the Pee Wee League when I was 8. Baseball, American baseball was my first love. I always wanted to be a
Mine too.
major
Mine
league.
too.
Was it really? How about that?
Yes, yes, yeah.
And
I
right
was a
up to
pitcher.
college. Okay, I was too. I was too,
Okay.
and wanted to play college baseball. As a matter of fact, that was kind of the talk initially. That my scholarship at University of South Carolina Aiken was maybe going to be half basketball, half baseball. But at the end of the first year, as you know how grueling a basketball season is, I just needed to focus on academics, needed to focus on my strength, getting bigger, and tried to be better. And coaches spoke and thought it'd be good if I just isolate on one sport. So I took the basketball route, and it's worked out great too as well. So
Yeah, yeah, no doubt, no doubt. So you 4 years at the University of South Carolina Aiken. How was that?
yes, yeah, I loved it. My college coach actually is from Virginia, so he got wind of me when he was an assistant at Richmond under Dick
Okay.
Tarrant, who had successful teams there at Richmond with Johnny Newman and guys that Richmond made a lot of noise in the
Yeah.
NCAA tournament, like a 15
Yes.
beating a Syracuse, and you'll
Yeah.
remember those
Yeah. They
those
had good,
years.
good, good teams. Yes.
Yeah, and before that, actually, my college coach Larry Epperly was an assistant at your alma mater at VCU under Mike Polio. So
Okay. Really?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So
Nice.
and
Yeah. It's a
Coach
small world.
Epperly, it is, and even spent a year, I believe, at James Madison University. So he caught wind of me. I was a late bloomer. Said, "Come on down. I'm going to a Division II school in South Carolina. Would you be interested?" I said, "Yeah, let me go take a look." And I was his first recruit. Just hit it off really well. But I loved every day down in Aiken. Weather, everything.
Do
Just
you?
had a good career, and yeah.
Okay. Nice. Do you see any advantages for certain players going to D2 schools?
Uh, well, for a guy like me, I was a late bloomer, just like my dad. I was very, very skinny. I needed to really work on my body. Of course, a lot of stuff you
Okay.
can't help. It's just genetics.
Yes.
I gained
Yeah.
weight later. Um, I think the advantage for me was I was able, maybe not quite ready for the D1 level, at least as a freshman or sophomore. I was
Okay.
able, as a freshman at the D2 level, to step in and play right away, basically. So I think it just depends on what you want. For me, I wanted to be in a good situation. I got in a ground level with Coach Epperly, so I knew he was just going in. He brought in 6 freshmen, so it was going to be
Okay.
a young class. I knew I had a chance to play right away. So that was, maybe an advantage for me was I did get to play right away. And I kind of took advantage of that, to be honest with you. And it was just a great experience. I was very
Yeah,
lucky
it
to,
was that
to
was a smart
make that
move.
decision. Yeah.
That was a smart
Mm-hmm.
move. And after your college career, you had a
Mm-hmm.
fairly long professional playing career. I think you played like what, 13 seasons?
Well, I played 10 and a half, really. I played
Okay.
almost 11 seasons. Yeah. I ended up the first year I graduated in May and June of, I guess, would have been 92. I signed the second half of the season with the second league team in Australia.
Okay.
It's the Continental Basketball Association. And I ended up playing 7 years for 2 different teams in Australia. I enjoyed it there. It was a great situation for me. My last 2 seasons, when I really realized I wanted to coach, I would stay. If the playing season was 8.5 months long, I would stay another 3.5 months. With the seasons being opposite in Australia, I could do it,
Right. Right.
and I'd stay and get home for Christmas and New Year's and head back later in January. But that's what enticed me or got me involved with coaching too as well. So when my playing season was over, I could stay in shape, work with some junior teams, and that really
Okay.
led me to believe that I wanted to be a coach one day. I really enjoyed it.
All right. All right. What other countries have you played in?
So I played 7 years in Australia. I played a 4 month season in Asia, in Malaysia. So they had a
How was
league
that?
back. It was good, different.
Okay.
I'm a guy that'll try anything food wise. So for that, going to an Asian country in
Right.
Thailand, Singapore, Malaysia was wonderful. Basketball wise, it was good. If I'm honest, it was a chance to put a little extra money in my pocket to save
Right.
moving
Yeah.
forward. And then after that is when I came to Finland with Kauhajoki, and I played for 2.5 seasons in the second division, first division now in Kauhajoki. And that was my basically 11-year playing career. So it was good. I enjoyed it. Wouldn't have traded anywhere for anything. Got me to see a lot of the world, New Zealand, other countries we played in when I was in Australia. And yeah, very, very fortunate.
What did you think about Finland when you first got here?
Well, Bernard, if I tell you the story, I'll tell you. I'll tell you the
Yeah, tell
story.
me,
So
tell me, tell me.
I left Australia. It was before Christmas. I got home for Christmas, so the temperature was about plus 42 in Sydney when I left. So like 114 Fahrenheit,
Right.
plus 42 Celsius. I got back home. My family was living in North Carolina. I had Christmas. I remember playing golf with my brothers on Christmas Day and my dad in the Charlotte
Okay.
area where we celebrated Christmas. And on New Year's Day, I flew to Finland. So I flew via New York to Stockholm, Stockholm to Vasa. And when I landed, obviously I'd done a little bit of homework with Finland, but I just wasn't quite maybe prepared for minus 42. One of the coldest winters in the history. Tractor trailers were freezing up on the side of the road. The diesel was gelling in these trucks going
Yeah.
home. And yeah, I landed, and my general manager there, the late Mika Perala, who I love to death, had a real winter parka for me, a real winter jacket. And his comment was he knew that Americans, especially guys from the South, didn't really know what cold was. So he
Exactly.
presented me
Yes.
with that
Yes.
team jacket, and yeah, I drove to Kauhajoki. I spent the first night in the hotel there in Kauhajoki. I was told to relax, until practice that evening. Just going to go get some shots up, but to enjoy the sauna. So they said, yeah, just go in the sauna and sit, and it'll warm you up. It'll be wonderful. Well, of course, I had my shorts on, sitting in
Yeah.
there, shirt off, everything. Long story short, I didn't really know. I did exactly what they said. I didn't know you had to turn the sauna on and throw water on the rocks. I had no idea. So I'm sitting in this cold, dark room, just thinking to
Oh.
myself, well, I've really, what have I done? Like I'm in this totally frozen tundra. They told me to go in a room with rocks and sit, and I'm going to be comfortable. And it was as far from the truth as you can get.
No,
So
nobody else came in.
no, no. They
How?
just assumed, and I guess I would too. But we joke about it to this day that my adventure to Finland and getting off, and it looked like when Rocky Balboa landed in Russia, flying in on a whiteout to go fight Drago. I was thinking to myself for a minute, what have I done?
How
Calling.
long did how long did you stay in
Yeah,
that sauna?
not long, I can tell you, because the longer I stayed, the more uncomfortable I got. I put my shirt back on and got out of there. So that was it. Until I was given a lesson on officially how to use the sauna, which is very important here in Finland, as you know. Uh, but
Oh
but
yeah, no,
since
no
then,
doubt, no doubt,
I
no doubt.
I learned, and it's a definite part of my life now. That's for sure.
So let's get into your coaching career.
Mm.
You've been coaching professionally for over 20 years. Am I correct?
Yes, I have. I have. I
That's
think it's year 23. Somebody told me the other day. I wouldn't have believed it, but time flies.
that yeah, it flies. That's a long time to be coaching.
It
And
is.
during those 20 years, you had a lot of success
Mm.
in coaching. You started, where did you started in Cahoyoke in the
Yeah,
first division?
actually,
Am I correct?
yeah, you did. If I go back to my very first coaching experience, because I always like to, I think about this because it really taught me a lot. When I stopped playing, I actually got a job as the head coach of Newman Prep, a prep school in Boston, Massachusetts, for 1 year, for one season.
Okay. Okay.
And after that experience, and that was a wonderful experience too, I got to say, it was. Kids that they had struggled the year before. The coach had resigned, but they really wanted to get better, and it was just a neat experience. Coaching at this prep school, we got to use the Boston Celtics facilities from time to time. It was really neat. But it told me again, it reconfirmed what I already knew in Australia, that I wanted to be, on the sidelines when my playing days were over. And it was after that season that Kawaioki called and said, we're on this project from the first division to get to Quartersliga. Would you like to be, the head coach? And I
Okay.
thought about it, didn't have to think about it too long, but that's how it started. That's how it all started.
And you guys, you were there when they moved from the first division to come up. Am
That's
I
right.
correct? Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. That
Yeah,
must have been exciting.
it was. I was just thinking recently how a guy that at the time, I thought I knew what I was doing, and I should probably write an apology letter for that first team I ever had, or first two teams that I ever had, because truth be known, I didn't know a whole lot. I
Right.
tried, but still, compared to what I know now, and I still love learning, I wasn't very good. But we
Okay.
managed to stick together. The project was a kind of a 3-year plan that we would move up, and that third year it kind of clicked, and lo and behold, we made it to the finals and won the first division, and were promoted to Quartersliga. So, yeah, very fortunate. I have a lot of gratitude for the people of Kawaioki for allowing me to play there when I did, but also calling me back to give me a chance to coach, to take a chance on a guy with no head coaching experience.
Well, they
Basically,
have.
1 year at the prep school, but nothing at that higher level. And
Well, there's some great people in Cahoyoke anyway. Just
absolutely, there
really
is.
really nice people in that town. And
There
then you
is.
moved on from Cahoyoke. You went to Loima.
Yes, I went to Loima. I was in Loima for 7 years. Took kind of a project. They were wanting to move up to Quartersliga.
Okay.
And I felt like when I was coaching against them, that was always a town based on the juniors that they had and the young players that they had. I always felt like they had a chance to make a lot of noise, and if they wanted to move forward, do so. And they did. I accepted the job there, was lucky enough to be asked to be the head coach there. And our first year there, my first year there in the first division, we won the championship and were promoted
Okay.
to Quartersliga. So
Right.
it was a big thing for another small town.
And you won two championships there.
Yeah, the next 2 years,
Two
again,
Chorus
just
Liga championships. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, after first division. So I think Loima, we kind of got spoiled over there for 3 years with the first division championship and then back to back with the Quartersliga. But again, wonderful people. They had a vision. They allowed me to make decisions that I thought would be good moving forward to help the club. And had a lot of great players. I can tell you some really, really special players that I think about all the time. So,
Oh,
um,
yeah, you guys had some really good teams there, and a lot of
it,
focus on you, and you really created a lot of interest in basketball, not only in that area but all around the country. You
mm,
participated in, was it the Euro Cup?
yes, we participated in Euro Cup. We participated in the VTB League as well. So Euro Cup was amazing experience. We just missed out on the playoffs, finishing. I think we were 5-5, but
Okay.
played some of our games in Vanta, played some of our games at the Hifki Arena in Helsinki, the Helsinki Ice Arena there, and drew 8,000 fans. So it was a wonderful experience. It was a great learning tool for me. People think about players getting better and getting exposure, but that going and then the VTB the next 2 following years. I mean, what better experience against the Cheskas of the world and the Kimkis and the Locomotives who we knocked off. They went to the EuroLeague Final Four. I mean, what better way to learn than just to get kind of thrown into those things? And it was just unbelievable. Yeah, it was grueling. It was 90 games one year. I mean, I woke up in some countries forgetting where I was, but hey, I would do it all again in a minute. That's for sure.
Yeah, I'm sure that was a great experience. Before we go any further, man, let me list some of your successes here. Finished First Division champion 2007, 2009, and 2011. Eurobasket.com all-finish First Division Coach of the Year 2007, 2009, and 2011. Finnish Cup semifinals 2012 and 2021. Finnish League champion 2012, 2013, and 2017. Eurobasket Finnish Coach of the Year 2012 and 2013. Did I get that right?
I guess, Bernard. Listen. I am one that I get more joy out of watching these young guys develop and the ones that really want to work hard. That's what I love the most about this. It's those things speak very highly of the wonderful players that I've had and the teams that I've had and the camaraderie that those guys put in and the hard work they put in, because a coach is not successful without successful players. That's for sure. And I've just been very, very lucky. Been very, very lucky, and even to this day, this season has been kind of the same thing, where I'm just so lucky to be around guys that want to work hard every day, and I wake up with a bounce in my step, and I'm ready to go. I love going to work every day, and I want to keep doing this as long as I have that bounce and that desire to try to get better every day. Try to help young people get better and watch them succeed. That's what I want to do.
So from Loima, you moved on to Joensuu.
I did.
Okay. And 2 years there, and you won one championship, another one.
We did. And again, around maybe I had, again, I've been so fortunate to coach just wonderful, wonderful players that made me a better coach. Jeb Ivey, the point guard at Loima. Martin Zeno, just an unbelievable, tough as nails guy that played for Bobby Knight in college, and
I remember him.
Sat beside me on every bus trip so I could pick his brain about every Bobby Knight story I could ever hear. He could ever tell. And then going to Joensuu to Kataja, Teemu Rannikko. What a wonderful, wonderful basketball player. What a wonderful mind for the game of basketball. And to have a point guard like that made me better, that made the team better. How lucky am I?
I played with his father.
There you go. So
yeah.
And that was a special year. We played Champions League that year too, as well. And that was a lot of fun, a great experience. And to top that off with the Finnish League Championship that year was really, really special.
From Joensuu, you moved on to Belgium.
I did.
Okay.
I was there for almost one season. I was as I like to say, I was a coach with a limp. I took a chance a little bit with I wanted to explore, wanted to reach out a little bit. I knew quite a bit about the Belgian league. I thought it would be a really good fit for me. Wonderful, wonderful players, a wonderful organization. For whatever reason, it just didn't click in the end. And I was let go in March, but I was there for a majority of the season, and I don't regret doing that at all. I would have probably done some things in hindsight. We live and learn. Maybe requested a few more things in the beginning as
Okay.
far as decision making with players.
Yeah.
I didn't have that, but I thought it would be okay, and it ended up.
Yeah.
You just get different styles with different types of players and coaches, and sometimes it doesn't work out. But we won some games. We did okay, but just wasn't good enough in their mind. And that's, as we know, that's the nature of this business. I grew
That's the
my
nature of it.
I grew my alligator skin a long time ago, so
Well,
that's part of it.
they say that you're not a real coach until you've been fired. So
Well, that's right. Actually,
there you go.
yeah, that's right. Larry, it's ironic, but I still remember this because it was in March 5 years ago when I was let go in Belgium. It was the same day Larry Brown was let go from his Italian team. So Larry Brown and I
Okay.
were fired on the same day. So there you
There
have
you
it.
go. I actually played for Larry Brown.
Did you
Man,
really?
yes I did.
Wow.
Yes I did.
How
Larry
about
was tough.
that?
He was tough, man. He was
I
tough.
bet he
Yes, he
won.
was. Oh, yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. He sure
Did
did. So
yeah.
from Belgium,
Wow.
you came back to Finland
I
to
did.
you signed with Nokia.
Yes, and
Okay.
that leads me to today and how lucky I was to be in this situation. My wife is from this area, from Tampere,
Okay.
so we were able to not really have to go very far. We live here in Pirkala, and it's just a 10-minute drive over to Nokia. So it was the first time my wife said she actually felt like a normal family because I was
Right,
all over
right.
the place for so
Yeah,
long. So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. And you guys have a new arena now.
we do. We do.
Yeah.
It's hopefully going to be ready for the start of next year. It's an exciting time here in the Nokia area. Actually, hoping to take a peek at it already in a couple weeks again to
Okay.
see where they are. We got to go in back in October, November, take a look at it, and it's going to be really, really nice. Definite
Okay.
something that was needed in this area, and hopefully excites a lot of people about basketball.
And what's your plan? Well, let's put it like this. You're cruising along right now in second place in the Coors League.
Well,
Am I right?
you're awfully kind to use that terminology of cruising because I don't look at it that way. But we've had a good year, no doubt about it. Again, I've got 15 guys that play for one another that work extremely hard. It's been so much fun to be with these guys on a daily basis. We're trying to get better even this week as we prepare for playoffs. Yeah, we did finish second, but as you know very well, when playoffs come around, records mean nothing and position means nothing as far as I'm concerned. But
There
it
you
does
go.
set ourselves up to be at home a little more than away, which is a valuable thing in the playoffs. And we know we have our hands full with Kovolt, but I'm excited for our guys to have this challenge, and we want to embrace it, no doubt.
What what's your fondest memory of coaching so far?
Oh wow, I wow, I've had so many, Bernard. Just again where it all started, in the professional ranks. If you think about Kahoyoki, and again, me not having any clue when thinking I knew everything. I'm really grateful for that opportunity because it told me, until you want to stop learning, stay at it, keep learning, keep trying to get better on a daily basis, keep trying to help your players as much as you can, put them in spots to be successful. But yeah, those international days in Loima and in Bisons and with Kataya were pretty special. I think I mentioned, to knock off a EuroLeague team at home and Locomotive that year. They went to the EuroLeague Final Four and finished third, and we knocked them off at home. I think they had 7
Okay.
NBA draft picks on that team,
Wow. Wow.
and to beat them, that's pretty special with the guys that we knocked them off with. I know they took us pretty lightly, but every game in that league was just a huge challenge for us. Being on the floor with the Cheskas and the Kimkis and those guys was awfully special. But obviously championships are special. But again, even some of the teams that we maybe going back to college days where we didn't win as much as was needed, maybe. Still, I'm very grateful because I think you learn more from adversity than you do from winning,
True.
and
True.
that's
Yes.
always been something for me. You kind of roll up your sleeves a little more when things are tough, and you got to get down in the mud sometimes, and that's I really try to do that and try to get players to do that because I really believe that's what it takes to be successful.
How do you see coaching now versus coaching when you started, coaching in general?
Well, I can say definitely players are different. There's no
Okay.
doubt about it. I mean, it's um, and I'm so glad to say that like for this year, I don't have guys that have a real sense of entitlement. Like, what can you do for me, coach? What can you do
Yeah.
for me?
Okay.
I've had guys
Nice.
like that before,
Yeah.
and it's not as nice. It seems like when you were playing and when I was playing that it wasn't like that as much. We didn't
Right.
have social media and all that stuff, of course, which is a big effect of that.
Yeah.
But, I think having to adapt to that, having to really try to get inside some of young people's heads to get to think about what it is they're thinking about and what it is they really want to uh, obtain and be successful with. I think it's important because guys are different. Backgrounds are different now, a lot more than, say 20 years ago.
Who's your favorite coach? All-time favorite coach?
Wow. That's a good question. I liked, even though I didn't like his antics all the time, I really, and I followed Bobby Knight a lot. The general, just the motion aspect of what he did. I liked the toughness aspect of him too, as well. Maybe not to the degree that he took it to,
Yeah.
but I had a lot of respect because anybody that played for Coach Knight, when they finished, they were most were all successful with whatever they did, whether it be basketball or in a 9 to 5 job, whatever, because they understood the importance of being on time. They understood the little things that were really really big.
Yeah.
My college
Yeah.
coach and good friend Larry Epperly, who I mentioned before, was at Richmond,
Yeah.
JMU, ECU. I really have a admiration for him. He taught me a lot, like tactically too, as well. And of course, all the coaches that I've had have been big mentors to me in in
Okay.
in good ways and in ways that I wouldn't want to do things. Again, you learn
Right.
things, not
Yeah.
just the good things, but you learn as a coach when I have my style that maybe one coach that I had in Australia, there's some things he did that I didn't particularly care for. Of course, I did them, but
Yeah.
I learned
Oh,
that if I'm ever a coach one day, I know I probably don't want to do this.
okay.
So you just take kind of, again, just being around so many different people and starting from a young age that we're fortunate enough I was to be around that taught the basics, taught uh, respect, taught the things that are important, not just in basketball, but the game of life. I think that's for me is what it's all about.
By the way, regards from Nico Juntinen. He said
Okay,
he coached against you. He was with
Coach
Helsinki
Nico.
Namika. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah, and his son Nicky is on your team now.
he is.
He
He is.
he
He's
had
on
a
my
he
team.
had a question he wanted me to ask you. What
Okay.
is the fine line of making it to the NBA or not? What do you think the fine line is?
Well, a lot of times I think a fine line in not just the NBA, but making it from the Finnish league to the German BBL can be work ethic. I really believe work ethic and the little things that are huge, taking care of your body, being a man of routine, uh, working on your craft. I mean, there's no. I know it's kind of silly that people say you work hard and good things happen, but I firmly believe that. And maybe that's the old school in me. Um,
Okay.
but it is a small fine line. But I think it's as simple as making sure you get your rest for borderline NBA guys. Of course, if you're Wembanyama and Joel Embiid, they can get away with those things. They can do it. But for a
Exactly.
borderline NBA guy, you better do all the little things extremely well if you want to separate yourself.
And what would be some advice you would give a young coach just starting his career or
Well,
her career?
Yeah, good question. I think first of all, you got to have fun. To get into this field, to get into coaching, if you're not enjoying it, maybe it's not for you because there's going to be good times, bad times, ugly times. It's everything. It also, if you want to get into coaching, you have to understand that there are no set hours for a coach. I
Right.
mean, with travel, with practices, it's not normal. And my wife and I, we joke about this still because when we got married years ago, I said, "Are you sure? You're ready for this?" "Oh yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure." And we still laugh about it. She has no clue still, like that it was going to be like this. Especially those years traveling throughout Europe and everything, where I'd see her,
Right.
I'd be
Right.
gone forever. But
I got
nothing.
about
Yeah.
I hate to cut you off.
No,
I got about 30 seconds here running
all
with this
good.
time. So Greg, I'm
All
going to say
good.
thank you, man, for your time. I appreciate this, and we're going to have to continue with this conversation sometimes.
We can do it, Bernard, and I appreciate you and again all the things you've done for Finnish basketball too as well.
Well,
It's
thank
it's
you. Thank you.
you're an amazing person, and again, thank you
Thank
for
you.
everything you've done and enjoyed the talk.
And good luck. Good luck with the
Hey,
playoffs.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. Yep. See you, man.
Take
Take
care.
care.
Bye bye.